Guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Dubai. This is season 2, episode 7. And I'm already preparing myself that people are not going to like my opinion about this episode because it's unpopular, but that's okay. You can have a difference of opinion in the comments below, but don't be disrespectful because my opinion is my opinion, just like your opinion is your opinion. But let's get into this review. So let's get spicy. Y'all already know what it is before we get into this review. So Brooks was on Watch What Happens Live last Tuesday night. And to be honest, Andy's energy was, you can always tell which housewives Andy likes. And he definitely wasn't feeling Brooks. He need to work on his poker face. Because like I said, you can always tell which girls he goes up for and which girls he does not like. But pretty much, Brooks was asked a question by a viewer that called in and said, Talene did an interview and she said, you have changed. And I want to play the response for you to that question from Brooks.
It's Erica from Virginia, our friend, with a question for Caroline. Hi, Erica. You look great.
Hi.
Thank you, Andy. And you ladies look beautiful. My Boston queen. I would love to know, after claiming that Talene begged you to be on the show, what did you make of her saying in an interview today that the show has changed you?
I thought that was completely delusional. I've been on, this is my second season. You just got here. Nobody knows you.
Well, but that doesn't mean you couldn't have changed from the show.
What would she mean by that? Where was this talk after season 1? What would the show have changed when I'm already in season 2? I'm exactly the same person.
Okay.
Same person. She's the one who changed when it was lights, camera, action. She was talking a big talk. I have all the receipts and our reunion's coming up.
Okay. Okay, well, hopefully they're good receipts because
they're everything necessary that you need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is an unpopular opinion, but it's my opinion, so I'm going to speak it. I actually agree with Brooks. I do not think that Brooks has changed. I think Brooks is showing up the way she has when she first stepped on the scene, season 1, and Talene was cool with it and asked her to be on the show or help her get on the show, as well as I believe Brooks has always been this way, even when she met Talene 10 years ago. I don't think all of a sudden she's done a 180. I think this is Brooks, and I think Talene also knows that this is Brooks, and she's cool. She was cool with it until she got on the show, because her smoking that cigarette the way she was at the end let me know, girl, you get down the same way she get down. That's why y'all been friends for that long. So cut the cap. So the next clip I'm gonna play for you for Watch What Happens Live. There was a viewer question that asked, could Talene and Brooks be friends again? So let me play that for you.
What's the likelihood you and Talene repair your friendship? I mean, that is my goal at the reunion, and I hope that you have that.
I think it's very likely.
Good. You have been friends for a long time.
A long time, and I'm also a person who doesn't hold grudges. I'm not going to apologize to her if she thinks that that's going to happen. Because I owe her no apology, but okay. I can forgive her, but I won't forget.
This is like a typical housewife thing.
Well,
right?
I mean, you're
she
gonna
owes me
have
an
to,
apology, Andy.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to come in with something.
No, I'm coming in with that she owes me an apology, and I'm willing to accept it.
Okay. So when are we shooting
so
the
nice.
reunion? It's gonna be a long day.
I know.
Okay.
This is gonna be more unpopular. I actually agree with this assessment, girl. I'm not apologizing for something that I'm not sorry for. I'm not. I will never forget, and this has stayed with me. When my mom said, don't apologize if you don't mean it, because that's one less thing you have to answer to the Lord for when it's your time to come. That stuck with me. She also added that if you apologize and it's not sincere, your apology means nothing. And if Brooks genuinely does not feel remorseful or feels like she owes Talene an apology, then why would you want that apology from her? I want an apology from somebody when it's actually sincere. So if she doesn't feel compelled to do it, then why should she do it? Why would you want a forced apology? So let's get into a few tweets and then this situation that took place in OMFG Reality TV's comment section, which it was Brooks versus Talene, and then it was Talene versus Lisa. So first up, let's talk about Ayan. So y'all know Brooks was being shady on the episode where she was like, Tony owns Ayan Beauty. Well, Ayan said this. She's on Twitter. She said, I would love for my fans. Okay, let me start over. She said, I would love my fans to know that I, Chanel Ayan, own Ayan Beauty. I am very proud of everything I have accomplished in my life and the good I am going to do with my makeup line. And today the sales have been great and I am just over the moon. Thank you, God. Hashtag RHO Dubai. So then Brooks quote tweeted and commented on this tweet where she said this: to be clear, I was being shady in the confessionals about Ayan Beauty. I was joking about Ayan. I was joking because Ayan jokingly told the girls I have multiple business partners in TGH, you know, the glass house, which I do not. Ayan absolutely owns Ayan Beauty and has put in just as much work as Tony. She's a queen. She then continued and said, also, I was the first person on our cast to support Ayan's business, and I went and purchased almost everything on her site the day Ayan launched without telling her. I am incredibly proud of all that she has accomplished. She worked so hard for this. Ayan, I am proud of you. So I'm glad Brooks cleared that up because she was giving hater. No, there's no qualms. She was giving hater and it was hella shady. But I am glad for Ayan, to be honest. Like, she has this platform. She's using it. She's building a makeup brand, and hopefully it rivals that of like Huda Beauty, because I think Huda Beauty is based in Dubai. That and like Fenty, like I hope it is of good quality and she can keep selling it. Because if I think about it, when they have BravoCon again, she should just bring all her palettes. The girls will eat that up at BravoCon. She would make a killing. So next is this tweet from Brooks. So the account called Chadwick reposted the like it was like a screenshot of the scene where Talene says she says you wore my wardrobe all last season, Talene to Brooks. And so Brooks quote tweeted him by saying this: all of Talene's clothes, bags, and shoes are either fake designer, borrowed, or returned to the store after being worn. God forbid I would ever wear her stuff the first season of the show. She's a liar, and I have every outfit from season 1 hanging at my home in my closet. Hashtag RHO Dubai. Now, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Talene yelling that out at the end of the episode was funny to me. I'm not gonna lie. But did it hit the way that I feel like everyone's acting like it hit? Not really. It didn't gag me. And the reason why is like we have all found out that the girls be wearing fake designer, be borrowing clothes, be returning them. Even Brooks read back to Talene saying like, girl, you send all your clothes back. You rent and buy, you borrowing all of this stuff. Like, we know the girls do that. So I'm not like, oh my gosh, she just outed her. That's not a big deal to me. It's really not. So then we have this tweet from Lisa where someone by the name of RHON Ren said, not Ayan, scared to laugh at Stanberry's joke in fear of Lisa not swinging. I guess they were going to say swinging on her. Controlling Ayan's emotions towards Stansberry is ghetto. Hashtag RHO Dubai. And Lisa quote tweeted the person by saying, she made that up. That confessional was done after we stopped talking, so she was simply trying to control her narrative. I mean, she does have a point in the sense of like the confessionals are filmed like months, sometimes even a year, but it's supposed to be like months after they wrap filming. So I can understand Lisa being like, girl, I didn't have an issue with you laughing at the ladies' comments. Like, you're trying to push a narrative that's not even there, girl. Like, calm down. So let's move on to this situation that happened in OMFG Reality TV's comments, because it was hilarious. So the way it went down was OMFG posted the full entire scene. It was like 7 minutes where, we have Talene, Rafi, and Brooks arguing and how badly, it escalated. So Brooks hopped down in the comments and she made 2 comments. Then Talene got in the comments and then Lisa got in the comments. So this is how it started. So Brooks said this: "If I'm an alcoholic, as Talene foolishly claimed, what is she? Don't play with me, Talene, don't." And Rafi sticking up for his wife wasn't needed. It wasn't his business, and he threatened to F me and Lisa up. That's not defending your wife. That's a threat, which made things escalate even further once we got outside. I moved on from it because we held our own, but he did threatened us, and I defended myself. And Sergio should also mind his business until he pays some bills in that house. For now, Michael calls the shots, not him. He didn't contribute to the lifestyle or the bills, according to Michael. Her next comment was, "And I would never wear her wardrobe because she doesn't have one. She either borrows or rents, tags, or returns her clothes. If they aren't knockoffs, I own all my clothes, shoes, bags, and accessories. I want to see Talene's closet, please. And I want her to show an article of clothing I've worn on Real Housewives, and or that she lent me or gave to me. I'll wait." So then Talene responded by saying, "Let's roll the tapes, please. He said to you to shut your mouth. There was never a physical threat to Lisa nor you. Lisa inserted herself in something that had nothing to do with her. You're delusional. Production watched it a million times too. After your bullying and threats to get physical with me and him trying to calm the situation down. As far as the outfits, don't worry about that, girl. I'm saving it for the reunion." So then Lisa hopped in and she added Talene. And she said, "Talene, I inserted myself because it was the both of you against her, and your husband was being very aggressive. Like you said, a lot was deleted, and trust me, that was not to protect Brooks. It was to protect him. I would have jumped in for you or any other girls. I wasn't even that cool with her when it happened, so I'm unbiased." And then she had @Talene_Marie. I can't wait till the reunion. Because I feel like everybody's going to be on one, and I'm excited. But out of this whole situation, I actually agree with Lisa. I do believe production cut some of that stuff out to save Rafi, not Brooks. And I did hear him say, "I will F them up," because I went back and listened to the clip, and I was like, yo, he really did say that. And at first I was just like, okay, I didn't have a problem with him defending his wife, but where he lost me is he got mad aggressive, and I was like, this situation isn't that deep where you need to be coming at them like that. And that made me feel some type of way, because I was like, why are you saying I'll F them up, F these cameras? Oh, like, it wasn't that deep. Your wife got called a beggar. Ooh. Like, if we're talking about the context of what Brooks has said as something being offensive, I would think being called a "see you next Tuesday" is worse than being called a beggar. It ain't that deep. But let's get to this review. So the episode opens up and we get the B-real footage of Dubai, but we get this one brief scene of Sarah on the phone with the giraffe man, aka Akine, and it was cringy because Sarah's on the phone with him and she's like, so when are you coming back to Dubai? And he was like, oh, I'll be there visiting in a couple of months. And she was like, oh, I meant moving. And he kind of was on that phone like, because then she was like, I feel like I'm trying to move us fully, I'm on a different path than you, or where I think we should be, and you're not there. And I'm like, no, because he just met you, Sarah. This is why I'm like, girl, you need therapy. I know some people in the comments were like, they think that this is like an actor that Sarah paid, but I don't think so, y'all. I really think that Sarah wants to be in a relationship. She wants to be loved, and I think she feels like she needs to, because she has made such bad decisions when it comes to choosing the other 2 men that she was with, I think she just wants to get it right one good time and like not have the scrutiny of her family, because we can't act like culturally that especially in some, because I've seen it with people who are Arabic, like their families do pressure them. Even in the Black communities, your family pressures you, but it's a lot different in other people's communities. And I could feel her being like, I gotta get this right, or internalizing that from having such bad relationships before this situation with a kind. But it was cringy, Sarah, and you too pretty to be begging a man to come move to your country. You too pretty. So we have Ion's launch day. That is the opening event. We see Tony doing her makeup in the confessional. We actually see her family, and they were cute. Her sister's pretty and her brother's really handsome, but they all look alike, and it was kind of funny. But what's interesting to me about it is like Ayan brought up that her mom stressed for the three of them to be like close, and I wonder if like they're not close with the other three kids, because I think Ayan says she's like the youngest out of like six, because Brooks is like one out of seven. And so I wonder if she feels like if the older kids were a lot closer than, you know, this relationship. So it's interesting. It's interesting. But they're a pretty family. We find out that Taj, her son, got a campaign with Burberry. That's a big deal. And for modeling, he doing well. So we have this one scene of Ayan breaking down in the hallway. It was so relatable. It was so relatable, because I've been there where you're like, you want something to work out so bad that you like overwhelm yourself with like anxiety and stress. And then she talked about like having diarrhea 3 times. Been there. And sometimes all you can do is just cry it out, and then, you know, once you get it out, do what you got to do. We also see the event planner come, and he or she, I'll just say they, I'll say they ended up showing a like robe that was gifted by a designer that made it for her from Egypt. And it was a beautiful robe, beautiful robe. So we see people pull up to the event. I think, who's already there? Oh, I think Talene, her husband, and Stanberry and Sergio were already there before Sarah and Seba got there. But Sarah's suit with the like, with the what's it called, with the built-in robe, oh, that ate. The way she was walking into the hotel and it just flowed, I said, oh, that ate. And she looked good. Sarah looked good. But we can tell that there's still issues between Sarah and Stanberry. We find out that they met up like about a week ago, or a couple of weeks, or not a couple of weeks, but like a week or a few days after the whole situation that happened in the desert. And Sarah pretty much told Stanberry, girl, me being friends with Caroline Brooks has nothing to do with you. I'm trying to help my friend get through childhood trauma. Like, that has nothing to do with you. Stanberry feels some type of way because she's like, me and Sarah and Sergio used to be locked in. Like, we know her a lot longer than she knows Brooks. And the moment me and Brooks get into it, she runs to Brooks' defense and not mine. Like, I have an issue with that. But it's crazy to me because that's how Brooks feels about Talene. That's how Brooks feels about Talene. Brooks is saying the same thing that Stansberry is saying. I've been friends Brooks is like, I've been friends with you for 9 or 10 years. And the moment that I do something or we have a falling out, you run to somebody that I'm in opposition with. And that's what Stanberry is saying. The moment I got into it with Brooks, who you know I'm having beef with right now, you ran to her defense and not mine. And I just think it's interesting because a lot of them say things in their confessionals about the other person. And it's like, y'all are all having like parallel experiences with each other, but you can't see that y'all are all having this experience because y'all are at odds right about now. But I just thought that was funny. So Sarah pretty much said she said her piece with Stanberry when she came over to her house, but she was like, she knows what it is with Stanberry now. She's just kind of like, it is what it is, you know? Like, I see her differently after this experience, pretty much. So we find out that Lisa and Brooks are late. Lisa ends up being able to get there before the event actually, like, well, not before, during the event of like the walk, like, you know, the models walking. Now, I slightly agreed with Talene, even though I kind of felt like she was being a hater, where she was like, I'm confused. Where's the makeup? Girl, just enjoy the experience and be happy that you're there, okay? But I got what she was saying. Like, they had the makeup palettes everywhere, but I think what would have helped be the extra mile to educate people on what the product was, maybe having the announcer say, this is our model such and such, or our next model is modeling our, our something eyeshadow, or our something lip tint, or this mascara, or this bronzer. Like, I think that's what was missing, because them pointing it out on the show, I get where Talene was coming from, where it's like, it is kind of confusing. Like, is this a fashion show or is this about makeup? We then have Ayan walk through looking beautiful with the, the Nefertiti or the Cleopatra hat on that everyone was saying, and the robe. The only thing that pissed me off was like they had a piece of like thick, it looked like synthetic hair just sticking out, like this bandana just sticking out at the back of her head. And I was like, why does she need a wig on for that? Like, her head's already bedazzled. Why didn't y'all just put the on her head? Like, just put the thing on her head. Like, anytime I've seen women wear that headpiece, there's never hair coming out of it. Like, the statement is the piece, not the hair that's attached to it. But Ayan looked beautiful. We see Lisa finally get there because she was running late. And then Brooks pulls up with a friend named Mai. So then Stanberry shades that Brooke has a new friend because she's like, she got a renter friend. But I find that mighty interesting that she's a renter friend, but when you had Juliana there and she brung those Lambos that y'all was riding, no one called her a renter friend. And I'm like, she doesn't have to post her friends. And I think, well, we'll get into that, because I have something to say about the fan base of this show that is like, I'm going to say it right now. I do not like how, I'm going to wait. We're going to wait. Makes a comment about like, she's not surprised that Brooks showed up late because she can't see people be happy. It also didn't help that Brooks was being shady in the confessional and came off like a hater, where she was like, I'm proud of Tony by Ion Beauty. But y'all saw in the spicy corner that Brooks cleaned it up, basically saying what happened between her and Ion and that she's extremely proud of her. I will say, this fit of Talene, her new confessional, eats. She looks really pretty. So the fashion show makeup thing is all over. We see most of them like sitting down. We see Seba asking what's her name, Stanberry, how do you and Sergio feel being in your new home? And she's like, it's starting to feel like home. You then see Raffi trying to talk to Brooks, and Brooks ain't really featuring him because he's like, Brooks, I ain't seen you in a while. And she's like, okay. She's like, I've been busy. And then you have Talene being like, oh, this is so awkward, because they're sitting next to each other, but Brooks is pretty much like, I'm not acknowledging your presence. And so then Talene says in her confessional, like, I've reached out to Brooks, I've sent things to her, but she's not really responding. She's just been giving me the cold shoulder. So then Ayan pulls up. She's happy and excited. She thanks all the girls for being there, even the ones that were late. And then Lisa was like, girl, it was hell to get into this, to get into the hotel. Like, it was so many people here. And Brooke says the same thing. She was like, I was stuck in traffic. Like, it was a lot of people here. Like, it was a lot of people like here, girl. We were stuck in traffic. So we then have this moment where Sarah and Sergio have a conversation, and Sergio basically says that he misses Sarah. Now, we know Sarah and Sergio been cool ever since he came to Dubai, and that's how Sarah became good friends with Stanberry. And then that's when Sarah brings up the whole thing where she says she had a conversation with Stanberry at her home, and pretty much Sarah was trying to tell Sergio, like, your wife doesn't defend me, and I don't know if I really want to be cool with her like that anymore. Sergio did the right thing by being like, y'all just need to talk this out, by not getting involved. But Sarah was being messy. Why are you talking about Stanberry in your situation with her husband? Of course he's going to be on his wife's side. But Sarah is just kind of like, it's not fun without me, is it? Because I bring the party. I said, okay, girl. So everyone starts eating, and we have this situation where, so we have this conversation with Brooks and Talene, where I feel like they should have removed themselves from the group and like talked to each other, but they're all sitting down and they're eating. They're all raving about how good the food is. And so Brooks tells Talene, I got your voice notes. I got your voicemails. I acknowledge that, like, where you're coming from. And I apologize for saying certain things that were hurtful to you. And Talina's like, oh my God, an apology. And everyone's like, oh, wow, you got an apology. And then everyone's like, well, what were you apologizing for? And Brooke said, I was apologizing for certain things that I said that were hurtful. And Talina took accountability. I didn't hear her say anything where she took accountability, but I guess she did in Brooke's eyes. So everyone got mad at Brooks when we get to the situation about the beggar comment, but Brooks did apologize. She said, the thing that Brooks says was pretty much, Brooks did apologize to Talene. She apologized for certain things that were hurtful, but she didn't apologize for what she said about her relationship with Stanberry. She still thinks that Talene is fake for being friends with Stanberry. And it's crazy because in some regards, Talene just heard I'm sorry, but didn't really analyze the I'm sorry, because right now in that moment she thought she got more than what she asked for. And I was like, girl, but we'll keep going. Let me keep going. So then we have this scene of where the brother and sister, Ayan brother and sister, pull up, and everyone's happy to see the sister. Everyone thinks she's beautiful because she is very pretty. And then Stanberry makes a comment about, oh, how old are you? How old are you? And I think the sister is like 45. And so Lisa says in her confessional, I don't know why Stanberry is so like fixated on Ayan's age. We did the whole age thing for Ayan, not for you to like feel some type of validation because she might be older than you. But if the sister is 45 and I'm guessing the brother might be in the middle or maybe a little bit older, I can see Ayan being like 40, 41, maybe 39, but she giving, honestly, not even 39. Ayan gives a good 41 years old. But I'm with Lisa, like, girl, it's not that deep if you're older than that lady. I mean, I get it because last season she was throwing them ageism digs at you, but it ain't that deep. We have, Ayan thanking everybody and, for coming out, for supporting her business. And it was a cute moment. She had it in a great space. It was in the shadow of the world's tallest building. Can't remember the name of it, but it was beautiful. It was like a really nice event. My only critique would be that someone probably should have announced what was on the models' faces so people would know what they were looking at. Because to Talene's credit, it did just look like a fashion show. Like it wasn't giving makeup launch. With Lisa, Brooks, and Sarah. Lisa still got her good eye on Sarah because she still feels some types of way about Sarah's comment about is her family okay? Is everything okay at home? Because Lisa doesn't feel like it was coming from a genuine place from Sarah. So she's just not really featuring Sarah, but she wants to give Sarah the benefit of the doubt that it wasn't meant in a shady way. So Sarah feels some type of way about Stanberry. She pretty much is like, we had a conversation. I don't know. I'm still seeing things I don't like. I don't know if me and her are ever going to be back to where we're supposed to be. That's when Brooks calls Stanberry a narcissist. And I'm like, Brooks, girl, I hate when people use words that they don't really understand. Like, I feel like people overly use narcissist, not truly understanding what a true narcissist is. Like, if you sit down and actually read books or like, journal documents and papers and like scientific studies, what we be calling people narcissists are just people who are selfish assholes, not narcissists. Because narcissists are dangerous people. Some of them can be. Some of them, I've been watching this one guy, I think he's a self-proclaimed narcissist, but I think he's been diagnosed. But he talks to people how to like see their way out of getting in a relationship with a narcissist. So Lisa asks Brooks, like, girl, why did you apologize the other day? Because you told me you didn't do anything wrong. And Brooks was like, well, I apologized for the things that I said that were hurtful, but I didn't apologize for like things that I said. So she was like, what did you call Talene? Like, or what did you say about her? She said, I called her a beggar. And they were like, a beggar? Why'd you call her a beggar? So then Brooks says in her confessional, Talene begged me to be on this show. In 2021, she asked me to invite her, be my plus one to Stanberry and Sergio's like birthday party or something like that. And they actually show a picture of her with Stanberry at the party in 2021. And then she said, last season at Lisa's fashion show, Talene begged me to be there and I brought her. And then they actually show her at the fashion show. So she did bring her around. And so, Brooke says, she is a beggar. She was like, I apologize that it hurt her feelings, but I meant what I said. And if that's how she feel, that's how she feel. I feel like people don't want to give Brooks credit because they don't like her. That's really what it is. They don't like her. Like, and the thing about it is that I find weird is that you can't tell me Talene ain't moving funny. You can't. And if you think the way she moving is okay, that makes me look at you like, you don't think that's moving funny? Like, I don't get how people don't see that as moving funny. Because I see it as moving funny. Because it's weird to me that they've been friends for like 10 years, maybe 9 or 10 years. And the moment you have a falling out with that person, you run to the person on the cast that she's not friends with. And now some you clicked up, y'all going out in the town getting drunk with your sister. Your sister's calling me delusional, even though Brooks posted proof that like she did reach out to the family. Like, that gives me that y'all been using that lady. And I think she has a right to feel some type of way about being used. And am I saying that all of Brooks's behavior is justifiable? No. Because we going to get into that at that dinner party. But it does lead me to believe that like Talene, you know who this person is. You've been friends with her for 10 years. And the way that lady was smoking that cigarette at the end of this episode, girl, you get down with Brooks the same way she get down with you. That's just what it is. This really cute scene of Ayan with her sister and brother on the beach. It was really nice. And they're just both like, all three of them are happy for each other. And Ayan just talks about, again, her FML, is it FMG, like what happened to her, where she was just like how it was, a lot of people had very negative things to say about me, like, because that's not something you talk about. But she was like, little girls have died from this because no one's checking their wounds, trying to make sure they're okay. Like, my sister was the main one checking up on me, and she said the one thing I am so grateful for is that us as parents, we're totally different from our parents. We're better parents than they. Like, we're great parents. And I was like, yeah, it seems like y'all are great parents. And the sister was like, well, maybe you can use some of your proceeds to like fund programs for the young girls to go to school and things of that nature. And she said, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. We then finally get this sit down with Lisa and Rich, and her telling Rich she need help. So they go to this restaurant, and the way that Rich was looking at Lisa when she was ordering for the table, I said, that's why you got pregnant 3 times. Cause he was eyeing Lisa. he was like, that's my girl. I said, okay, Rich. And we find out that Rich seems to be doing fine with the stressors of their home life. Like, he still finds time to get a pedicure. And he was like, that's because I have good time management. And so Lisa was like, you trying to say I don't have good time management? And he was like, no, you're great. You're a great mother. You're all of that. Lisa started fake crying because I ain't see no tears. I said, you know how to work that man. Because he was like, baby, no. And then went to hug her. And she just was like, I just need more help from you, especially when it comes to the boys' soccer stuff. And I was like, he should have been doing that to begin with. Now, I did say in my last video, why does Lisa not have a nanny? And I think online, let me see if I can find the tweet in my notes. Someone did say this. Someone was like, I'm a little confused. Lisa and Rich are rich. Hire a nanny. And Lisa responded by saying, I have 2, but I'm super hands-on and I choose to raise my children myself. Their job is to assist when I need them. And I guess there you go. She basically says like, it ain't just gonna be anybody just raising my kids. I want to raise my kids. And that is true. Nannies they're supposed to be assisting you. They're not supposed to be raising your kids really. But she got help. She just needs to lean on her husband more. So her husband was like, yeah, I'll definitely start doing that. And she was like, I mean it, Rich. Like, I need you to do more. And he was like, I will, with that fake crying. And then after that, he was like, well, maybe I can give you like, I'm sorry Hermes bag, or forgive me Hermes bag. And she's like, you're speaking my language. I said, girl, Lisa knows she bad. She know how to work her husband. She seems to be doing okay. So then we get this scene with Stanberry, Ayan, Lisa, and Talene. So we see what's called Ayan and Lisa pull up together. They're in this beautiful hotel that's like overlooking Dubai, and it has like an infinity pool. And she tells Lisa tells Ayan that she spoke to Rich and things seem to be going better, and she was like thanking her for giving her the advice to talk to him, and she just says she feels lighter after speaking to him. We then see Stanberry pull up with Talene, and this is where Lisa made that comment that I talked about in the spicy corner, where Ayan was acting like she didn't want to laugh because she was afraid that Lisa was going to be like, why are you laughing at her? Why are you doing this? And so that's why Lisa was like, I don't care if she laughs at her jokes. I didn't care about none of that. Like she's trying to create a narrative. So then they talk about the dinner. Oh no, before they talk about the dinner, we find out that for their cash trip, they're going to Bali. And I want to go to Bali. It looks like a beautiful place to go to and just like enjoy the people, enjoy the culture and the food and the environment. So one day I'm going to be there. And so she tells the ladies that's where she wants to take them. Everyone is super excited. And then, Talena's like, I can't believe Brooks apologized to me. I'm just so, like, it's just so crazy she apologized to me. And that's when Stanberry's like, yeah, because she never takes accountability for anything. And I said, Stanberry, I loves you girls. I do enjoy you. I enjoy almost everybody on this. Well, honestly, even the ones I don't see it for, I actually enjoy on this. So Stanberry is like, she never takes accountability for anything. So then that's when Lisa was like, well, I was actually surprised that she apologized to you because she told me she didn't do anything wrong. And then she said you guys talked about like, she was apologizing for calling you a beggar. And Talene's face was like, a beggar? I ain't never begged her for nothing in my life. And Lisa was like, I wasn't trying to be messy. You was trying to be messy because why'd you bring that topic back up, ma'am? Why'd you bring it back up, Lisa? But she was like, I wasn't trying to be messy. I thought like, okay, y'all had moved on from it and like stuff like that. But Lisa's like, it's seeming like Talene has never heard this from Brooks. And we gonna go from there. We find out that Stanberry is having a, I don't know, I was gonna call it an open house, but it's not an open house. It's basically a party welcoming everyone to her home. We see the lady that planned their wedding and their like bridal parties and all of that other stuff, their event planner. She did this. It was cute. The house is finally coming together for them. Like I showed y'all in the first picture, you can go to Bravo Insider and type in Caroline Stanberry, and they actually have like I think 2 articles about her home where you can actually see like Instagram video and footage of like a house tour. Again, it's not my aesthetic, but it still is a very nice home. So we have this moment of Lisa, everyone getting ready for the party. She opened up this closet and it was nothing but wigs, and I said one day that will be me. They just all neat. It was cute. And so we have this moment between Stanberry and Sergio getting ready, and he says something about, oh, you smell really good, honey. And then she talks about how she's happy that she is in this house with Sergio. This is her first house she ever bought in Dubai. Like, this means a lot to her. And she just talks about how, Sergio is better than me because if I met somebody my age with 3 kids, I don't think I would be able to put up with it. And she also says that she talked to him about the daughter, Yasmin, in the comments. And Yasmin Sergio ends up saying, I love Yasmin, but she needs to understand that she needs to respect me. I'm not trying to replace her father, but like, I'm still an adult. You need to respect me. And I agree with him. Like, Caroline did do herself a disservice by moving him in so quickly after their father moved out. You gave them kids 7 days to adjust. And then the pandemic happened, and then y'all got married. And it's like, it's going to take time, but there is a way that Yasmin can also be honest about her feelings about Sergio, but not be disrespectful. And he can do the same towards her. So we see Sarah pull up. She's like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Talene pulls up, actually liked her outfit. Her I don't know what that pattern is. I can't think of the name of it, but she looked really cute, and it was like a 2-set. But she bought like pillows that said, let's tiki, that's what Sergio calls sex with Caroline. We actually end up seeing Dawn, and I was like, she looks so familiar. And then I realized, oh my God, that's Dawn from from Real Housewives of Cheshire. I only watched the first 2 seasons of that. I think there's like maybe like 10 or 12 seasons of that, but like the website, because I was watching it, I was pirating it, and the website that I was using, it what's it called? It shut down. Like I don't know, somebody claimed it and you couldn't get on it no more. Somebody found out. But I remember that I think Dawn also lives in Dubai now. So there were a lot of people online being like, oh my God, Dawn needs to become a part of this cast. And I didn't think I really liked Dawn. I think I liked her. No, I think she was too pompous for me. And I was like, girl, we get it. You got money, but like you still need to be somewhat likable. And she really wasn't. But that doesn't mean she didn't change after a couple of seasons. You know, she could have became more likable. We then have Caroline Brooks get there. Girl, when I tell you I saw that Sage and I screamed. I said, girl, that's disrespectful. You coming in my house with Sage. I said, I don't. She was like, I'm praying. I said, don't pray in my house. I don't know the devil is in you. I screamed. And Carol, like Stanberry was not impressed. She was not impressed. She was like, Brooks is trying to rile me up and she won't do it. And she really was, because she was just walking through that house. And then Sergio was like, I don't want that in my house. And she was like, no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I said, no, it's disrespectful. And what made it more it was like, girl, you came in the house, you disrespected that lady's house. You came into the house saging it. Then on top of that, you brought a +1. It was her friend from Jordan. And she was like, the dinner was like a seated dinner. So they only made enough food or had plates, seating arrangement only for enough, like for the people that RSVP that said that they were coming. It was to the point that Seba didn't get invited, which is wild to me, because I'm like, she's a friend of. Why is she not invited? Still don't understand why they made her a friend of, because she adds nothing to this show. She adds nothing to the show. So we have Sergio doing a toast. Everyone's like, yay. We see Ayan and her brother pull up. And then as Sergio is doing his toast, you got Caroline was drunk. She was drunk or tipsy at the end of the table, just throwing back them drinks. And she was talking to Sarah, and she was just like, I'm hungry. And Sarah's like, me too. She was like, I need one more drink. And then next thing you know, Talene is like talking. Everyone's enjoying the food. And then Brooks ends up saying fake. And it also is saying like she will punch to like throw this drink into Lean's frozen face. So Brooks was drunk and getting irritated and getting angry. Like Brooks is an angry drunk. And I did see that she said she was going to stop drinking. I hope she is committed to that, because she gives angry drunk. And I was like, girl, it's not that deep. Like, I get that you have issues with her, but it's not that deep. But Brooks is feeling some type of way. She was like, I bring you into my friend group. You start being friends with somebody I don't like. Like, I feel used. And that's basically how she feels. She feels used. And that's that's an uncomfortable feeling to feel. So that's when she ends up saying fake. And Talene is like, Brooks, what did you say? Brooks said, I'm not talking to you. And I giggled. I said, well, she was like, but I heard you say something. She said, and I'm not talking to you. And I said, well, Talene, let it go, because the lady says she's not talking to you. She don't want to talk to you. So then Lisa's sitting down at the table, and she's like, Brooks, come here. Sarah, come here, to get closer down the table, because the table was pretty big. And they're talking, and she's just like, what did you say? And she said, I called her fake. Like, why is she trying to talk to me? Like, we're not cool right now. Don't talk to me. So she was like, did you call her fake? She said, no, I said she was fake. If I was going to call her fake, I would have been like, Talene, you're fake. And I'll give that to Brooks. Brooks can be very direct. So then we see Talene, because like everyone kind of left the table. You see Talene and Stanberry having a conversation, and Talene is like, I'm a beggar. She called me a beggar. That she's disrespectful. She's disrespectful, but I'm not going to disrespect your home, Stanberry. I'm not going to disrespect for her home. And then Stanberry was like, well, don't do that, because I'm starting to feel like you and Raffi are family. And I said, and you just met her like 2 months ago? Okay. So then Ayan ends up being like, me and my brother got to go. But Ayan even said she understands why Brooks is upset with Talene, because Talene switched up on her faster than the winds in Dubai. Get into what we all want to talk about. I forgot to mention that Sarah also made a comment at the table, because we find out with the whole Bali trip that Lisa is supposed to be over food. Brooks is supposed to be over like the party, the entertainment stuff. And Stanberry, Ayan, and Talene aren't really too enthused about Brooks being over the entertainment. But Brooks is like, no, girl, we about to have a good time. We about to whoop it up. And then Sarah is supposed to be over the praying. And she made a comment at the table talking about a few of y'all need an exorcist. or somebody needs an exorcist. And they were like, what do you mean who needs an exorcist? But she didn't answer it. In her confessional, she's like, it's not my fault that my light bothers you. And I said, well, Sherry, you did make a comment. Like, who needs an exorcist? But I think it was shade towards Stanberry because she's not feeling her right now. So let's get into this fight situation. So after Talene tells Stanberry about what Brooke said about, fake, 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 you see Lisa being like pulling everyone together, minus Talene being like, hey, before we go to Bali, we need to figure out, y'all need to figure this out. So Brooks is slurring her words and she's like, do you want to hear about it, Stanberry? And Stanberry's like, I don't know if I want to hear about it. And she was like, so did you call Talene fake? And she said, no, I said Talene all I said was fake, fake, fake. If I wanted to call her fake, I would have called her fake. I would have been like, Talene, you are fake. And then they bring up the whole beggar comment, and Brooks is looking at Lisa like, girl, really? And she said, well, because I guess she was like, I said what I said. But Talene is like, you told me that she said that I'm a beggar. That's what Talene said to Lisa. And that's when Brooks was looking at her like, girl, really? And she was like, well, you did. And I asked you, does she beg for clothes? Does she does this? And you said everything. Then you got Rafi and Sergio behind Talene saying, Rafi saying, oh yeah, she need to correct that. She need to correct that right now. And Brooks is like, Rafi, don't even get in this. Like, I'm not talking to you. And he was like, no, you need to correct that message. So I'm already looking at Rafi like, your wife seems to be doing fine. Like, why are you jumping into this conversation? So then Talene gets really mad. She calls Brooks an alcoholic, tells her to put the drink down. So then slurring her words, Brooks is like, you see, she trying to spin all of this. So Rafi takes Talene to the side of the house to like calm down and telling her to breathe. So then Brooks walks around up to them and she was like, Talene, you need to put the drink down. You drink all the time. And then Rafi's like, really, Brooks? Really, Brooks? But then Rafi told on himself because he was like, don't throw her under the bus. So she do drink a lot, because if your wife didn't drink a lot, you wouldn't be like, don't throw her under the bus. He said, don't throw her under the bus. And then he's telling Brooks, you need to chill out. And Brooks is like, and if I don't? Like, what we about to do about it? So then Talene said, are you challenging my husband? And Brooks said, is your husband challenging me? And I said, say that, because I don't care if that's your husband or not. If you want to be a part of this argument, we can argue. Like, I don't see anything wrong with men and women arguing. And I feel like Rafi decided to enter the conversation that he should have been ready for Brooks's mouth. I had no problem with him defending Talene if he felt like he needed to. There was nothing wrong with him being like, girl, chill, calm down. But Talene, to me, escalated when she was like, are you challenging my husband? And then that's when Brooke stood up, got in her face and was like, is your husband challenging me? I said, girl, say that. Say that. I'm going to be using that gift. And then she was like, because he's sticking up for me. Because he's my husband. Where's your husband? I said, girl, that's not even a dig to anybody unless they care about that. Because that wouldn't have hit me. I'd have been like, I don't need a man to protect me. I can say what I want to say. So then Rafi ends up saying, he was like, we're not about to do this. We're not about to do this. Then Sergio sitting at the table like, honey, look at them. And Caroline Stanberry is like, don't get involved. Do not get involved with it. So then Rafi ends up being like, F these cameras. And then Brooks is like, get out of woman's business. And so because Lisa tries to interject and be like, y'all calm down. And he was like, F these cameras, F these cameras. And then that's when Lisa was like, oh, we not about to do that. And then Brooks was like, oh, we definitely not about to do that. And then all Stanberry is worried about is her $50,000 sofa, where she's like, girl, it's white. The only people that sit on it is my dogs. Why would you buy a $50,000? I said, did I say $55,000? A $50,000 sofa and nobody can sit on it other than your dogs on an Hermes blanket. I hope you sleep on that. That's somebody's college tuition, ma'am. For some schools, a year of like maybe a semester or a year of college tuition. That's a lot of money. So you hear Raffi calling Brooks a dumb bitch. She was like, a dumb bitch. And you hear Talim being like, no, Raffi, no. And then he was like, I don't give a damn about these cameras. And then this is the part that pissed me off about people in this fandom. I get that you don't like Brooks. I get that she is off-putting to a lot of people. But to sit here and advocate violence against her because you don't like her is it's not right. Because that man say, I will F these motherfuckers up. And he was saying that towards Lisa and Brooks. And they didn't even show it they didn't show him saying, I'll F these mother effers up. It just says mother effers, they don't know. But he said before before mother effers, because where it got cut off on the subtitles, he said, I will F these mother effers up. He said that. And for people to be like, oh, that's okay because it's Brooks, that's nasty. And I remember I used to be that way when it came to Kenya. I'm not a fan of Kenya. I told you I used to be a Kenya hater. But after sitting back and I will never forget, I think it was Erica De Niro TV. It was a long time ago, but I remember her saying that, like, y'all advocate violence against people women you don't like, you justify it. And I used to be that way. And I saw a lot of people online doing that when it came to this situation. And I was really disgusted. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with Raffi defending Taleen. That's his wife. If that's what he wants to do, he can do that. But where I had an issue and where he lost me is when he got so elevated and so aggressive. And it was like the situation didn't call for all of that. It didn't. Your wife seemed to be doing fine because she was twisting her neck. He's sticking up for me. She was doing all of that when that girl said, is your husband challenging me and stepped to you? And he put his hand in between. So you look like you with it too. So Sergio's calling Brooks an asshole, saying that he want her to get out the house. Stanberry keeps telling Brooks, sit down. Stanberry keeps telling Sergio, sit down. Like, he keeps getting up, she keeps pulling him down. Like, she's like, sit down. Like, she runs this relationship. We also got tea in the confessional from Ayan and Brooks that Michael be paying for all of this. He be paying the mortgage and everything. And I low-key believe it. I really do. I think Stanberry is getting like alimony from her husband, but everything else I think is giving that. And everyone was like, oh, Stanberry should be mad at Brooks. I feel like, girl, you should be more mad at Michael because Michael's the one spilling your tea. She wouldn't know that without Michael telling the tea. But let's get back to the situation. So they're outside and you hear Brooks saying, Raffi, don't disrespect me. Production trying to pull Brooks into the car because yelling and cussing in public can get you locked up by the police in Dubai. And then Sarah's just like, this is embarrassing. Talene's like, you keep calling my husband a bitch. Get the F out of here. So then Raffi's like, no, that's when, what's her name? Brooke said, don't be tough, Raffi. I may not be married, but I got an ex-husband and I'll call him too. And she was like, Talene, you a effing begging ass bitch. And then she said, I got all the messages, all the receipts. And then that's when Talene's like, you're the beggar. You were my wardrobe all last season. And that's where the episode cuts off. Mess. So yeah, I'm excited for the reunion. I thought it was a good episode. I stand by what I said. I think it's nasty behavior to see women justifying violence against another woman because you don't like the character or the behavior that she distributes on the show. Like, I saw a lot of, and it was feeling like the energy that people be giving Candace on Real Housewives of Potomac. Anytime somebody says something they don't like, that she doesn't like, that they don't like that she says, oh, that's why Monique hit you. It was giving that. Like, I saw people being like, oh, he should have like did something to her. And I'm like, I get you don't like her, but his behavior was nasty. Like, the situation wasn't that deep. Talene's life wasn't in danger for you to say, I'm gonna F these two black women up because you don't like what they saying to you. It's giving pick me, Talene. It really is. That cigarette moment was funny. I don't know. She was out there smoking like she don't know about this. I did laugh. She looked good in that outfit though. She looked really good in that outfit smoking that cigarette. And it was just like, and that's when I know you and Brooks, of course y'all were friends. Of course y'all, because Brooks gives that same energy. But yeah, just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean they shouldn't be on a cast. Like, the purpose of this show is to have discourse with different personalities. Like, if they were all getting along or we didn't have moments of issues, y'all wouldn't like this show. Y'all barely watching it anyway because y'all said it's boring, but it's actually very entertaining. But I digress. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and hop down in them comments below. Deuces.